Hey guys, this is test 52 game 1. This is the valves game with 8 valves that we're placing in order from 1 through 8. It's an ordering game because we know that each valve is opened exactly once and no two are opened simultaneously, so there must be an order in which they are opened. Now if you look at the rules, you'll see that they're all before-after relationships, so this is loose and we're going to simply relate the variables to each other as we place them in order. So I'll start with the first rule. K and P are both before H, so we've got K and P both before H. Next it tells that O is before L but after H. So O is after H and before L. Then we know L is after G, so G is before L. We know that N is before H, so I'll add that in as well. And finally K is after I. So we've related every variable into this big web of relationships, and we'll be able to make use of this diagram over the course of the game. Now, if you look at just a brief moment, we see that any of G, K, P, or N could be first because none of those variables needs to have anything coming before it, and we see that either L or I could be last because nothing has to go after either of these variables. So this right here is the initial setup. Now for question number 1, a typical orientation question, we're just going to take one rule at a time and apply that rule to all 5 choices looking for violations. So for example, we know that K and P both have to go before H, so any choice where they are not both before H can automatically be eliminated. All the choices are good on this issue though, so we'll move on to the next one. O is between L and H with H, O, L as the order. So looking for the general order H, O, L. B violates this, having H and O occurring after L. C is good, D is good, E is good on this issue. Next rule, L is after G, meaning of course G before L. We'll scan for violations of this, and we see that choice D has L before G, so D can be eliminated as a result. We know that N has to go before H, so checking for violations of that in the remaining choices, we see that choice E has H before N, but we need N before H, so that's gone. And finally, we know that K is before I. So looking at choice A, we have I before K, so A is gone, leaving E for number 1. Next, number 2, each of the following could be the 5th valve opened except. So 4 of these variables could have exactly 3 things after them and have exactly 4 things before them. One of them cannot. So running through the choices, H. H could have only OLG after it or OLI after it, for example, so H could be 5th. Looking at B, I could have exactly 3 things after it. Those 3 could be OLG, for example, so it's possible for I to be 5th as well. B is gone. Looking at C, variable K. K has got to have at least 4 things after it, I, H, O, L. So for that reason, the latest that K could ever appear is 4th. K could never be 5th, so C is our answer for 2. I will look at the rest though. The variable N could have only H, O, L after it, so N could be 5th. And O could have only 3 things after it, for example, I, L, and G, so O could be 5th as well. So E's gone, leaving C. Next, number 3, if I were the second valve opened, and I's got to have K before it. So they're basically saying that we're actually going to take I and K and move them earlier so that we have, I second, K first, and then have everything else, P, N, H, O, L, G coming after. So I put I on 1, K on 2, and then P and G are all contending for 3rd, etc. So what could be true except, could G be 3rd? Yeah, we could have K1, I2, G3, then have P or N 4 and 5, H 6, O 7. Now like that works fine, so for that reason A is gone. Looking at B, H 4th. Could that happen? No, because K's on 1, I's on 2. Even if we put H as early as possible, that would require P and N to be 3 and 4 interchangeable. Then H could be 5th, and then we'd have, GOL coming on 6, 7, 8 perhaps. So H could not be 4th. The earliest that H could ever appear in this circumstance is 5th. So B is our answer for number 3. I will look at the rest though. Next, looking at C, P 5th. Could that happen? Yes, it could. We could have K on 1, I on 2, G on 3, N on 4, P on 5. That actually could work, so C is gone. Looking at D, O 6th. Yeah, we could have K1, I2, P and N 3 and 4, H5, O 6, G 7th, L 8. That works fine, so D's gone. Looking at E, G on 7. Yeah, we could have K1, I2, P and N 3 and 4, H5, O 6, G7, L8 works fine as well, so E's gone, leaving B. Next, number 4, if L was 7th. So the only thing that could ever come after L is I, so I is going to have to go on 8 in this case, so I'll get rid of I over here. put I on 8, L on 7, then G is coming somewhere 1 to 6. So each of the following could be the second one, except, well, we know that I is forced later, so I has to be on 8. It cannot be on 2. B says I on 2. That's impossible, so B is our answer to 4 because this just cannot be true. Next, number 5, general must be true question. We'll just run through the choices here. At least one thing before P. Does it have to happen? No, P could be first. Nothing needs to come before it, so A is gone. At least 2 things before G. No, nothing needs to come before G, so G could be first, and B is gone. Next choice, C, no more than 2 things after O. No, we could have 3 things after O. We could have I, L, and G after O, so C is gone for that reason. No more than 3 things after H. No, we could have 4 things. We could have I, O, L, G all come after H, so D is gone, leaving E by elimination. And looking at E, no more than 4 things before N. Well, we've got to have H, O, L coming after N for certain. And then the 4 things that come before N could be I, K, P, and G. But nothing else could come before N. So for that reason, there are only 4 things that come before N, which is why choice E is our answer for 5. Next, number 6, if K were 4th. So if K were 4th, that means we've got to have 3 things coming before it, and those 3 things would be P, N, and G. So K is on 4. We've got P, N, G coming before it on 1 to 3. And then everything else, meaning, I, H, O, L, those are all coming after. So I's on 4, K's on 4, I's on 5, then H, O, L, are 6, 7, and 8. So they're asking us what could be true. Could I be second? No, I could not be second. I is 5th, so A is gone for that reason. Looking at B, N on 3. Yeah, that could happen. P and G are interchangeable on 1, 2, and 3, so B is our answer. I will look at the rest, though. G on 5. No, we've got I there, so C's gone. O on 5. No, O's on 7, so D's gone. P on 6. No, P's 1 to 3, so E's gone, leaving B. Next, number 7, if G was first and I was third. So if G's first, I'll put it at the beginning. If I was third, that means that K would have to be second because K goes before I. So G's on 1, K's on 2, I's on 3. Then we've got P and N on 4 and 5. So I'll put those down, P and N on 4 and 5. Then we've got H6, O7, L8. So they're asking us, must be true except. So find the 4 things that must be true, eliminate them, and whatever remains will be your answer. So must we have K on 2? Yes, we must, so A is gone. Must we have N on 4? No, P and N are interchangeable on 4 and 5. So for that reason, B is not a must and is our answer. I will look at the rest though. H6, that is a must. O7 is a must, and L8 is a must, so D and E are gone, leaving B.